From time to time, I get a few scammy individuals that reach out. But I typically know how to handle those individuals. But there are the other set of individuals that are really believing that they are ready to start the home buying or selling process. But there are a couple key questions that they don't know before they reach out to me. So in this video today, I'm going to show you the bulletproof way that I filter through 95% of unqualified buyers and sellers without even raising a finger. What's going on? It's your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. And for today's video, I'm all about shortening the learning curve for you and making it easier to focus your attention on the individuals that are really, truly ready to buy and sell. If you enjoy the content that your boy's throwing up, I always ask for a like or a thumbs up. And if you've been watching more than one video, go ahead and subscribe and join the family. I got cool content like this coming to you on a very regular basis. All right, so I'm going to share my screen right now, and we're going to go into my back end, which is my CRM. So for me as a real estate professional, personally, I use Lofty, which used to be known as Chime. Lofty's amazing. It's 50 bucks a month, but it does a lot of the heavy lifting for my lead generating efforts, nurturing my current clients, and just basically keeping me organized. So I have a strategy that I have utilized in Lofty called a landing page. Now, for those of you that are not super techie, think of a landing page as a very stripped down version of a website, right? It gets exactly to the point as far as what a particular prospect needs to answer in order to get in touch with you. Now, you might be like good old Mike Jones from back in the day and just put your number out there for anybody to hit you up if they're interested. But in the age of privacy and social media, it's a strong suggestion from your brother, your uncle, to go ahead and create a little bit of a wall that individuals have to go through before they get to you or your team. So if we jump into my Lofty right now, this is my back end of my Lofty here. I want to show you guys exactly how I created a buyer consultation landing page. So for particular sellers and buyers, depending on the situation, I get hit up by a lot more buyers because a lot of my content is buyer focused. It's giving strategies and suggestions on down payment assistance, questions to ask during the home buying process. So a lot of my leads are buyers, right? And so I will show you how to create a landing page for buyers. Again, this is assuming that you are using Lofty. Of course, if you're an agent here with Real Broker, this is an option that is available for you. But if you're with some other brokerage or you don't use Lofty, you'll want to look for the option to create a landing page. I strongly suggest that you go ahead and get Lofty because through Real, you get it at an extremely low discount of 50 bucks a month. It's the best $50 that I spend every month. I'll be honest with you. So all you got to do if you're in the Lofty back end here is go to marketing, and then you'll scroll all the way down to landing pages, which is right here under the tools. And once you're in the landing page option here, it'll give you, I have a couple of pre-done landing pages that I've created, but you'll want to utilize the option on this page that if you go all the way to the right where it says view more, because we're going to build our landing page from scratch. So if I go to more and then I go to activity is basically the option where you are creating a lead generating landing page that you want your buyer prospects to complete a certain list of questions before they even get into your wheelhouse. What that's also going to do, because of course you could use a platform like Job Forms or Google Forms, but I want this information to be fed directly into my CRM because when I reach out to them and for further nurturing and follow up, they're already in my ecosystem by having them complete a questionnaire directly tied to my CRM. So we're going to go to this option here that says lead generating a lead registration form. It's asking us, what do we want to name our new landing page? So let's call this landing page buyers. So that means when individuals go to soldbymarvin.com/buyers, they will go automatically to my landing page. So what I will do with this is I will name drop on my social media, hey, if you get value from this information, or if you want to learn more about starting your home buying process, go to soldbymarvin.com/buyers. So that's super easy. But if you don't have a custom URL, which is what I have here, I'll show you another strategy towards the end of this video. So you're going to want to make sure that you watch the video in its entirety so you don't miss this. I bought the domain name soldbymarvin.com because it's easy to say and even easier to remember. And so all I'd have to do is tell a person, go to soldbymarvin.com/buyers. But if you don't have a custom URL tied to your CRM, just watch the entire video. Of course, towards the end of the video, I'm going to break down how you can create something like this for like $9, okay? All right, so we'll call this landing page buyers. And then what it's doing right now is it's going to show me a really nice pre-done landing page as is, right? It says, Real Broker, my brokerage, we're here to assist you with your home buying and selling needs from start to finish. But I want to customize this just a little bit, and I want to add some additional information that I need to know for a particular buyer prospect. So all you'd have to do is, once you see this default page here, by clicking the lead registration form template, you'll simply click the pencil inside of a square here, which is at the top right corner. And now it's giving you a couple of options if you want to customize this form. So by default, because it's a lead registration form, it's asking me if I want to make the lead type a buyer or seller. So for this particular questionnaire, it's going to be buyer because, again, it's soldbymarvin.com/buyer. So it's automatically going to route them in my CRM as a buyer. Cool. So that's done. So if it wants me to add a tag of any sort, I could do that here. So let's say I want to tag anyone that goes to soldbymarvin.com/buyers. I want to tag them as social media. So I can create a tag. We'll call it social media. So now I know everyone that's completed the questionnaire here came from a social media outlet, either my TikTok, which is Sold by Marvin, my Instagram, which is Sold by Marvin, or my Facebook. So I'll call this social media, right? So now it's automatically tagged them in my system. So if my assistant or myself look at this, I know this lead came from social media. Now, by default, it's got email and phone as the contact information that it's asking a person to plug in. But I have come up with a series of questions that personally, because of how many buyers I've talked to, these questions usually will filter the majority of individuals that are not quite sure that they are actually ready to buy. So I'm going to list these questions here. You're more than welcome to rip off, duplicate, or even add your own set of questions. But for me, I don't get to asking them a whole bunch of questions on this. I just want their initial information and to just get some preliminary questions answered for me as the agent, because I need to know if there's someone that is actually ready to go, or if I need to put them in touch with my preferred lender so that they can start the process with them as far as qualifying them, and then I jump back in as the realtor. So the first question that I like to ask is, what is your purchase timeline, and do you have a home to sell? And so that's question number one. So what I'll do here is I'll go to the add a field section, and I will go to additional fields because I want to add a custom question. So you'll select single line text if you just want to ask a one sentence question. And we're going to do this a couple times for each question. Then I select next, and then the field label, I'll call this buyer timeline, right? And then the placeholder text, which is what they will see, I will say my question, which is, what is your purchase timeline, and do you have a home to sell? What that's going to do is that's going to let me know, if they're not only ready to buy another home, but if they have a current home that they're living in that they want to go ahead and sell. So that means it's not one, but two transactions, which I love, two transaction prospects. So I will make that question required, meaning they have to answer that question, and then I'll click save. So now it will add an additional line here, as you see on the page, with that specific question. So once they click it, they have to answer that question as well. The next question that I will ask is, what is your credit score the last time you checked it? The reason being is because I don't necessarily want to waste my time or theirs if they tell me that they got a 400 credit score, right? Because we know that there's a minimum credit score, which is in the high 500s, that a person can qualify, for an FHA loan. So I'll add an additional field that says, and we'll make this an actual paragraph text, so it'll be a little bit longer. And we'll call this credit. So the reason for the field label versus the placeholder text, what that means is when it comes into my CRM, the question that it's going to code it as is, hey, this was a credit question that you asked, and the response that that prospect gave you is what's in the placeholder text. So all of this information is going to go to my CRM, and then I will be able to quickly look at it and see why I asked that question, what the response is, and if they didn't respond with enough background that I needed to know as a agent. So now I'll paste that second question here, and we're not going to go through everything here, every question, but we're going to go through the 3 or 4 that are most important for me. Okay. So what is your credit score last time you checked? So even if they don't know, that's fine. I'll usually direct them to something like a Credit Karma app or something that they can download and then find out what their credit score is. It's not a end-all be-all way to know their credit score, but it's definitely a good place that they can get an idea of what their credit score is. So I'll make that question required as well. So boom, now that question has been added to this page here. All right, so the next question I'll ask is, are you interested in down payment assistance programs? The reason that I want to know that question, so we'll call this field, we'll do another paragraph text, and we'll call this field DPA for down payment assistance. The reason that I want to know if they're interested in down payment assistance programs is because that will give me an idea of whether or not they have a lot of liquidity, meaning they've got assets to put down towards either 3% or 5%, or if they're going to need help with down payment assistance. And there's some great programs in every major city. There's national down payment assistance programs like Chinoa. There's localized down payment assistance programs depending on where that particular prospect is interested in buying in your city. All you have to do if you're watching this is Google your city down payment assistance programs, and it'll show you some of the options that are connected with it depending on a certain part of town. So that's information that you can help them if they are not quite sure where they want to live, but they know that they need some down payment assistance. Well, now you can give them some insight on particular counties in your area and the down payment assistance that they're offering. So I think that's pretty dope to know and to share with the clients, because a lot of times they don't know that there's free money that's out there. All right, so the next important question for me, I think is incredibly important, and that's if they are working with another real estate agent. Okay, so I'll make this question a single line text, something a little smaller, and I'll just say, working with realtor, question mark. And the reason being is because that's going to direct my engagement or lack thereof if they tell me that they are currently working with a real estate agent. Because a lot of times buyers, they'll talk to a bunch of different agents at the same time. And I think that's they can do that. But obviously, if they have signed something as far as a representation agreement with another realtor, or if they're engaging with another realtor in any way, I personally need to know that, because I'm not going to engage with them if I verify that they actually have signed an agreement with another realtor. And they might tell me, they don't like the realtor that they're working with. Again, I try to stay away from those kind of situations. I just say, hey, if you need to terminate the relationship with your realtor and then want to come back, and I'm happy to answer any questions, once I know that you're not currently represented by another individual. But that's what I do, personally speaking. But, you do what you choose to do with this information. Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you are a real estate professional, consider partnering with me here at Real Brokerage. Pay nothing per month, get a fantastic split, and you have the opportunity to build a business through revenue share and stock purchases. Book a call at the link below in today's video, and I'm happy to have a conversation on why I was able to grow my business exponentially by moving my practice to Real Brokerage. All right, back to the video. So I'll say working with a realtor, I'll make that question required, and then boom. I've got some really good preliminary questions that are going to help me in a number of ways. I've got their email address, phone number. You got to add their name. So let me add that on here as well. So we'll put that as well. I'll require a person's full name because I need to know who I'm talking to. And so I'll move that here to the top of the checklist here. So now, boom, I got their name, email address, telephone number, timeline to sell, credit score last time they checked, are they interested in down payment assistance programs, and are they working with a realtor? These are some really solid questions to ask. Again, you can add as many questions as you like by simply going to the add field here. You don't want to overload individuals. I know for me, if I see a lot of questions on something that I'm being asked to get more information on, less is more. So if I see that I have to answer a lot of questions, I'm just going to click and scroll on to the next thing. So, but it's up to you whether you want to add or take away from this preliminary list to verify and vet that you are dealing with someone who is serious about buying. The majority of individuals, if they're scammers, they're not going to fill this information out, right? But if you have someone that does actually take the time to complete all of these questions here, you know that there's a strong possibility that you've got someone that you can work with either immediately or put them on a drip campaign once they have engaged with your lender and your lender says, hey, they're not quite ready. They're about 3 to 6 months out. So if I wanted to customize this anymore, you can definitely do that. This page as is looks really, really good. Right, but I want to see how else we can customize this. So what I like to do specifically with these landing pages is just make sure that the lead ownership is me, because this is not the company, the broker's lead. This is my lead, so I'll customize that. Directly assign. Usually I'll do that, but I can also assign via lead routing rules, which is a little bit more on the nerdy side as it relates to the CRM, and that'll be for another video. Assigning to agent is me, but of course, if you're on a team or run a team, you can assign it to another agent. If you are the team leader and you have other agents that are working with you, you can assign it to them. So let's say it's someone in a particular part of town that you have a designated buyer's agent on your squad that takes care of that. And then I usually like to send them a welcome email, just thanking them for inquiring and connecting with me. But if I wanted to customize this a little bit more, you definitely can do that. So some of the things that you are able to do, let's see, what are some things that we want to tweak about this page? I mean, it really looks good as is, I'll be honest with y'all. But let's see if I wanted to tweak some more things. So if I wanted to add my contact information, for example, you can go through any one of these pieces of information here. Lofty lets you really customize and do your thing. You can add information on a specific listing, market trends. You can add all sorts of cool stuff. But again, less is more, specifically with landing pages, in my opinion, because you just want to have a place that when you are doing your YouTube videos, your home tours, you have to, within the first 10 seconds, you want to let people know if they want to get more information on either the home that you're touring or any questions that they may have as far as what you've shared on social media, maybe about the home buying process, down payment assistance, the current market trends, all that. You're going to want to name drop your website within the first 10 seconds, in my opinion. So I usually like to start my videos with, hey, this is Marvin with Sold by Marvin. If you're interested in learning more about this home or starting your home buying process, visit soldbymarvin.com/buyer. Something like that within the first 10 seconds is incredibly powerful, because most individuals on social media, they don't stay on a particular video longer than about 15 seconds. So you want to be that person that stops the swiping, if you will. And if they do continue swiping, well, at least you name dropped within the first 10 seconds how individuals can get in touch with you to start the home buying process. And now you have a way to vet those individuals that maybe don't know the answer to these questions, right? But they can go get those answers, come back to your questionnaire. But my number's not on here very visibly. I mean, it's in the top right corner, but it's not very visible on this. And if a person's looking at this from a smartphone, because this will convert from mobile as well, they have to answer those questions. Before they even get in touch with me, and they're in my ecosystem, which again makes it incredibly, incredibly powerful for me. So let me know your thoughts. Is this something that is helpful for you? I did promise if you made it to the end of this video that I would give you an additional kind of hack that you'll want to add to your game plan, especially if you're in a situation where you don't have a personalized website that goes to your Lofty. Your website might be, realbroker.com/Sally Sue, that kind of thing, or kw.com/whatever. And they may use Lofty. I know here at Real we use it, but if your brokerage uses Lofty, but you don't have your own personalized website link, you might want to get one. I'll just say that. Lofty synchronizes very easily with your personalized brand. Personally speaking, I love having my own customized domain name because in the event for whatever reason I'm no longer at my current brokerage, my domain name belongs to me, right? But you may be in a situation where you may not have that ability to do that. You have to use your team's branded website, domain name, or your broker's branded website and domain name. That's okay. What you can do is you actually can go to where I get practically all my domain names that I buy. So I love GoDaddy.com. It's the place that I buy the majority of my wwws. I have a couple different things that I do online, and so I have domain names for the various businesses that I have. But GoDaddy is just easy. You can buy your domain name, and it's usually around $9 to $12 for the first year. So if you're at a brokerage that does not allow you to personalize your actual CRM website, you can buy a domain name like sellwithmarvino.com. I don't know. Let's just try that and see if it works. All right, let's see if it's available. Is sellwithmarvino.com available? Let's see. Okay, Sell with Marvin is actually available. Sellwithmarvin.com. So that's a good one. I'm not going to buy that because I already have Sold by Marvin, and that's the branding. But you could be Sell with Sally Sue, whatever the case is. It's important to own your branding. So if you see sallysue.com is available, go ahead and buy it. And the cool thing is once you buy it, there is what's called a domain forwarding option that is available for you. Specifically, I'm talking about GoDaddy.com, meaning that once you buy your domain name, which is the www. Whatever, once you buy that, you can redirect people that go to your website, www.sallysue.com or Sell with Marvin or whatever. You can redirect them to your very long CRM WW or team name website. So you can still do something like this, right? You can build out your lofty landing page. And even if the landing page www is a very long address, you can buy a domain name like, sellwithmarvin.com that'll automatically reroute people to your landing page website. So again, less is more. I personally don't ever suggest having a very long name in your branding. Like your name could be Sell with James Michael Thomas Smith Jenkins. Like that's too darn long. So keep it short, keep it sweet. If you have a very unique name or uniquely spelled name, remember if it's unique, more than likely people aren't going to know how to spell it. So make it something a lot easier that people can remember. Whenever I'm out and about or I'm talking with individuals, I just tell them, hey, go to soldbymarvin.com. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And another situation I want to show off is a buddy of mine. He's also a business partner here with me at Real. His name is Khaled. He has a really cool domain name, which is called fundmykeys.com. So he doesn't even have his name in his marketing. He has a really cool, catchy domain name, just fundmykeys.com. And it says, do you qualify for down payment assistance? Please provide the correct information to get the money survey. Most buyers are eligible. So this is tied to his lofty account. As you see, he's my Philly referral partner. So if you need to buy or sell in Philadelphia, hit him up. He's my guy. He takes care of everything. And he's incredibly thorough. But his domain name, his landing page is a lofty landing page. So just what I built for you guys or showed you guys how to build, this is exactly how to do something like this. But his is incredibly bare bones, which again is perfectly fine because that might be his strategy. So he just has individuals put their name, address, and phone number, and then he will put them on some type of drip campaign where they'll either get a set of emails or text messages from him. And now, boom, he's got them in his ecosystem ready to go. So I think that this is incredibly powerful. I hope you got value from today's video. Let me know in the comments below, do you have a dedicated place to send all of the leads that you are getting because you've watched a lot of my videos and you've got your social media on and popping, you're putting yourself out there, you're doing the home tours, and now you need to know how you can handle all of these individuals that are finding you from your videos and ads and content, but you need to get them in a very organized, neat, and tidy manner. So until the next video, this is your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor. But before you go, YouTube thinks that you are going to enjoy one of these two videos right here. So before you hop off this video, check out more videos from the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.